Alright, all you up-all-nighters, you insomniatic TV watchers, gamers, grapplers, and drivers, and especially you streetlight crusaders from all around the world, welcome to the 4:52 in the morning edition of the Tuesday Night Special. I am your insomniatic host from the East Coast, DJ Smokey, bringing the best from the North, South, East, and West that the world of music, games, and wrestling has to offer, and seeing the fact that we're doing things a little bit different due to power technicalities, we might as well waste no time and explain to you guys what's going to happen on this very special late night, month-ending Tuesday Delight edition of the Tuesday Night Special. Because we kick things off by finding out what happened during this week's edition of DPW Fire from the Carolinas. And yeah, we couldn't do Raw this week due to the power outage, just as a head of time warning. Also, besides that, we go ahead and check out a very special Indy Mohawk rockin' edition of the As Seen on TV. And we've been asking this guy to do the song Cars for years. Only hint you're getting. Also, besides that, we go ahead and check out some video game hits, clips, and even scratch that indie itch you've got at home with a couple of games from the world of Indycade for another edition of the Indycade Triple S Deluxe. Then we find out what sort of heat wave is gonna hit us to wrap up this Independence Month, and what sort of crazy outfit Dan the Weatherman Stu's got planned for it for another edition of the weather update. And apparently, according to Carl and the Maestro, he is currently about to sign the contract for that championship match in the next 2 weeks. Yikes! Then finally, last but certainly not least, and hopefully before the sun rises, we wrap up the show yet another edition of the Indy Report, which is me giving you guys 2 news stories followed up by local concert information from local artists from a local area live near you. Yes, with that said, I might as well tell Carl and Maestro to kick up the beats, crank out the tunes, and most importantly, make sure you got that generator cranked all the way to the max so we can end this month on a high note. Because it's time for us to bring some fun and delight on your street-lit, moon-lit, power outage Tuesday night. Only here, right here, on the Tuesday Night Special. So let's get this late night show started, folks. Alright, all you streetlight crusaders, and I guess a couple of you insomniatic wrestling fans who are still up for tonight, welcome back to the Tuesday Night Special. And now it's time for us, due to power outage reasons, for us to go into another edition of DPW Fire from the Carolinas. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, that means that next week we will have a double dose of Raw to make up for this week, so strap yourselves in, because it's about to get crazy with DPW for tonight. Because we kick things off with not only Kobe Carino going one-on-one against Anthony Henry in a round 1 eliminator match for the national championship. And before this match can even kick off, Kobe Carino would express his anger at the fact that he didn't get the respect that he rightfully deserved from Anthony no matter where they went to. and would say that he learned ever since that moment that he's got to earn respect for himself, and would do so during this match despite Anthony flipping off Colby Corino after every major move that he would do during this contest. But during this said contest, we would also see a tope crossbody to the outside of the ring by Colby Corino to Anthony, but only a hip toss and a nasty kick to the face on the rental chairs, and even seeing him pull off a running Tiger knee strike right directly onto the chairs. Ouch! And then once action got back inside the ring, we would see an Olympic slam, but unfortunately would see Colby missing with the imploding senton, leading directly into a crucifix by Anthony for near fall. And then immediately after that, going into the Border City stretch that would lead into a crucifix of his own, still for near fall. Then immediately after that, we would see Anthony pull off a apron missile drop kick, or more or less Colby Corino pulling off an apron missile drop kick right to the face of Anthony on the rental chairs. Then would see none other than a step up Tiger knee right directly to the face from an ankle lock counter, leading into an enziguri into a regal plex by Anthony, still for near fall. But ultimately, this match would come to an emphatic end after a nasty version of a Frankensteiner into a roll-through victory roll switch-up, with Colby Corino coming out the better of that said counter-to-counter fest for him to win this match and advance in the tournament via pinfall. And after the match was over, we would hear from Anthony saying that he didn't want to shake the hand of Colby Corino because he's been nothing but a punk-ass bitch and tried to live off his dad's name. But after this match tonight would earn his respect and would say that tonight both of them proved that they're better off not working for WWE and instead here in DPW. For a chance to reign supreme for Colby Corino and DPW, and for Colby Corino to say that the world gets the purest version of Colby Corino here in DPW because you're the best effing crowd here and keep doing you. Flat sack by Colby Corino, and a salute to you, especially with those military trunks on that he had. We're pretty cool to see. And speaking of cool things, folks, the next match that we have up for tonight would see none other than the American Wolf himself, Davey Richards, going one-on-one against Kevin Koo. And before this match could kick off, unlike the match prior, we would see a handshake between the two, only for the hands to be turned into lethal weapons for grappling submission stalemate in a masterclass of submission holds that would be performed during this match, including not only a surfboard counter leading into a pinfall by Kevin Koo for near fall, even a disgusting counter out of an enziguri into a dragon screw by Davey Richards, and also seeing Kevin Koo breaking out of another submission hold by Richards for a figure four headlock counter that would lead to a near fall. Only for Davey Richards to turn up the pressure and pain by pulling off a modified version of a tequila sunrise that almost looked like it was heading into a House of Pain, only for him to get a makeshift pin out of it, but still only for a near fall. Then we would see Kevin Koo pulling off the pain thriller in this match, only for a near fall, and even the trailer hitch by Davey Richards to Kevin Koo for Kevin Koo to make it to the ropes for the referee to actually break up the submission because it was in so tight. Yikes! Then next up, we would see not only a nasty high kick into a high-angle German suplex into a brain buster by Davey Richards for near fall, only for a PK kick that would lead into a flip of the finger by Kevin Koo, leading into dual super kicks to the face and to a Baizaku knee, and a God's last gift that would be performed by Kevin Koo still for a near fall, only for Kevin Ku to go into his submission repertoire for a Lance Storm Classic with a half crab that would lead to kicks to the back of the head of Davey Richards, for Davey to have no choice but to tap the mat for Kevin Ku to win this match via pinfall. And to advance in the tournament as well, because I completely forgot to mention, folks, that this was a match a part of that said tournament. And not to mention, the first time ever these two would meet in ring for combat ever, which is nuts. And immediately after that match, folks, we would head into our main event of the evening, which would see none other than the Dreadlock Demolition Machine, Bojack, going against Dive Bomb Diego Hill for the DPW Heavyweight Championship of the world. Now, prior to this match, not only they would show a cool video package between these two former friends, or current friends and tag team partners, and would also show the destructive demolition reign of Bojack, taking out everybody in his path for this championship. And tonight would be no different, because not only we would see Bojack hitting a nasty boot on the outside of the ring, and then only to get countered into a knee to the face and a diving kick to the face as well by Diego Hill into the Reynolds, that I got a feeling pissed off the Dive Bomb, or should I say the Dreadlock Demolition Machine. Because not only he would hit a nasty version of his kiss-aside elbow out of a springboard counter for a near fall, but we would see him do a modified sit-out Michinoku driver for a near fall, even a hammer throw into the ropes for a near fall, throwing him out of the ring for a 9 count to follow afterwards, even a 300 Spartan kick right to the chest for a near fall, a nasty power bomb for a near fall, even a Falcon Arrow. Still not enough to take out Diego Hill, and Diego would come back swinging after this with not only a rebound code breaker into a standing corkscrew splash for a near fall, but then would pull off, and the craziest thing I've ever seen tonight, and you know, that's just the tip of the iceberg with this, folks, not only a corner springboard crossbody to the outside of the ring all the way to the back section of the rental chairs for a 9 count, only for Bojack to come back with a boss man slam for a near fall, a nasty spinning out of your shoes lariat for a near fall, for Diego to hit a Yoshi Tonic out of the Dreadlock Bomb, only for a near fall. And what would happen next, folks, has to be the craziest thing I think I've seen since Andrew Everett went one-on-one against the Dreadlock Demolition Machine, because then we would see Diego not only pulling off a nasty John Woo dropkick into a hesitation crossbody senton, then into a coast-to-coast, a mid-ring splash, and a best spiral tap ever. And that's the best way to describe it, because he leaped from the bottom to the middle rope to the top rope into a spiral tap, and it led to a near fall. Still a near fall thanks to the ropes and positioning of Bojack. But ultimately, this match would come to an emphatic end after we would see Diego Hill going to the friendly skies one time too many, only for him to get countered out of mid-flight into an avalanche Bojack bomb out of a Frankensteiner, for Bojack to win this match and to still reign supreme via pinfall. But immediately after the match was over, folks, we would see Bojack giving some respect to Diego and more or less holding his hand up high after the match was over for DPW Fire to end for this week. Now, ladies and gentlemen, seeing the fact that this is a rare occasion, we usually do these reviews for DPW, and with the crazy match card coming soon for the pay-per-view of No Pressure, seeing the fact that it's going to be Bojack going one-on-one with M-Dog 20 for the championship, We said before the end of this summer, and with SummerSlam in the beginning of the month, we are going to try our darndest to actually give a review for DPW No Pressure before the end of the summer of RPG, aka August. And with that special announcement out of the way, folks, I think it's time for us to head back into that music, and when we return, we'll be back with more Streetlight Delight as the Tuesday Night Special rolls on right after this. So don't go away just yet, folks, and stay tuned. Right, all you Insomniatic TV channel surfers out there tonight, welcome back to the Tuesday Night Special. And now it's time for us to go into another Indy edition of the As Seen on TV. And the show or YouTube page that we have up for this week for you fans at home is none other than OHP. Yeah, the metal mohawk guy himself that we've been mentioning a part of Music Village now for well over 2 years. Nice! But besides that bit of history, folks, and speaking of it, because we're going to go into a lot of it, the meat and potatoes of this said YouTuber would be none other than a man who not only was able to record all of these metal covers that he would be able to do, but also be able to give you original music and other cool things from around his studio in Los Angeles, California. And with those meat and potatoes out of the way, folks, what do we love about this said YouTube page? Well, the fact that this man is literally a one-man band. Not only the fact that he was able to record all the instruments, mix, master, and even shoot the footage and edit the videos together, which is absolutely insane, but the fact that this guy was able to pull off well over, and get this, at least 50 different covers over the past 7 years he's been on YouTube. And according to Carl and the Maestro, more than that, not only doing covers from not only Taylor Swift, Aha, Kesha, Ed Sheeran, The Chainsmokers, Rixton, Bob Marley, Good T.E., Sam Smith, Jessie J, Despacho, John Legend, Maroon 5, Nirvana, Linkin Park, Justin Timberlake, Journey, even none other than Alyssa Carr, and technically, if you want to say, none other than Eric Clapton with Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Yeah, you can add him to the list too. But one cover he was able to do that we loved the most, that actually got us to watch him, was not only his cover of Queen's Who Wants to Live Forever, but also of none other than the classic song of, and drumroll please, Respect. Yeah, that was actually the song that got us to follow him, and not to mention the fact that he does cover songs from the 80s was another reason why in the world we follow this guy and love every single cover that he was able to do, including the crazy music video that he was able to shoot for the song Africa from Toto. And after that cover, we've been requesting for well over 2 years now for him to do a metal cover of the classic song of Africa. And according to Carl and the Maestro, we're wrong on that one. It's actually the classic song of Cars by Gary Newman. Because I got a feeling he would pull off a pretty cool cover of that song. And maybe in the near future, hear him do a cool cover of the Red Hot Chili Peppers song of Scar Tissue in metal form. because I got a feeling he would pull it off pretty cool, and to see him in the old Coupe de Ville riding down the desert road performing that song on a broken guitar would be pretty cool to see. And seeing the fact that OHP has amassed well over 823,061 views and has well over 12 million or 12,000 subscribers, ballpark error there folks, and first joined this site on March 24th of 2016 and was able to rock the house for well over 7 years now. And seeing the fact that we don't know how to review these said channels along the lines of TV Guide or any of those other famous reviewers that you know of out there, we say this. If you guys want to go ahead and check out a Mohawk metal brother from another mother rock the stage on a weekly or bi-weekly basis, giving you metal covers like nobody else possibly can, by being a one-man band like Heath Slater, and yes, that's a wrestler from a WWE company at one point, then I recommend you go out there and watch that show. And trust me folks, it'll definitely rock your socks off. And I guess with that said folks, I think it's time for us to head back to that music once again. And when we return, we'll be back with more of the Tuesday Night Special right after this. So don't go anywhere just yet folks, and stay tuned. And we're back with the Insomniatic Show, giving a 7-year metal salute to a metal Mohawk captain of the world, only known as the Tuesday Night Special. And seeing the fact that the anniversary of his first video is this week, happy metal birthday to you and to many more in the near future. And here's hoping that you get to the song Cars in metal form in the near future, because I would love to see it. And speaking of loving to see things a part of this show or outside of the show itself, I think it's time for us to check out a couple of these video game hits, clips, and scratch that indie itch from the world of Indycade for another edition of the Indycade Triple S Deluxe. And we kick things off with the art wall. And the art wall picture that we have up comes from the developers Tall Guy Productions with their said screenshot from the video game Lab of the Blind Gods Prologue. And the picture that they provided for this week shows our hero, our person of blindness, taking off or putting on his said protective eyewear to look up toward the sky, and behind him nothing but shadows and what appears to be a window with somebody lurking off in the background according to Carl and the Maestro. And to quell their fears, there's nobody behind them, but at the same time, with the room going dark the same time as him putting on the blinds, automatically reminds me of, I would have to say, an IFC original film, and maybe a little bit of Dream Corp from Adult Swim. And here's hoping in the near future for this set game that as you make your way through, despite you having no sight, your other senses kicks up to the next level to help you get through these levels in the best way known possible. Cause to go through blind, I got a feeling it's gonna run you into a lot of problems if you're used to seeing. But besides that case of blind man's bluff, folks, we now make our way on over towards the sound wall. And the sound we have up for this week comes from none other than Xavier Colliet with their said sound of When Comes the Night from the video game Dead in Finland from the developers Triple CP. And And when I close my eyes while listening into this song, it automatically reminds me of traveling the seas with Carl and the Maestro as we make our way back home after the long-winded journey we had after helping out blacksmiths fight dragons and other crazy things in our lives, only to look up at the night sky to see a shooting star for us to make a wish for us to keep that sword. And unfortunately, the wish did not come true. Oh, wait a minute. According to Carl and the Maestro, with the box that we have here on the ground, it is the sword. Not bad. And it has a gift saying thank you on the sword engraved. Wow, with all of our names on it. I don't know how that's possible, but thank you. Thank you, blacksmith. Thank you. Wherever you are now. But before we get lost in the skies, folks, I think it's time for us to make our way on over to the Screenshot Saturday Showcase. And the Screenshot Saturday Showcase picture we have up comes from the developers of Abnormal's team, hopefully we said that name right, with their said screenshot from the video game Frank and Dre. Nice name for the game, too. And the screenshot that we're provided with for this week shows our hero trying to adjust the television with the rabbit ears on top. And I know a couple of you out there never heard of it, but trust me, you had to get it in the right position to get the picture. And that's exactly what they were doing to show a scrambled image trying to become clear, all while an old lady sits onward waiting for the TV to come clear, with not only flower wallpaper in the background, but a vase with flowers in it as well too. Not bad. Not bad at all. Now, this screenshot automatically reminds me of the Justice Pals, the little miniature series that was a part of Dial M for Monkey and even Dexter's Laboratory. That never got its own spin-off. Really wish it did. But to get things back on track here, folks, here's hoping in the near future for this said game that not only you get a chance to get a cool power after watching this said program once you unscramble the channel, but also a chance for you to interact with the things inside of the television. Because I got a feeling, depending on the powers you have in this game, if you have them, should be pretty cool to see. And with that said, folks, we now make our way on over to the Greenlight Jam Showcase for this year. And the first game out of 5 we have up comes from All Bar NYC with their said game of Cookie Bear, Alex B and ABCD Star with their game of Meow Devo Kitchen, Hamburger with their game of Rhythm Dungeon, the Immune CK with their game of Hope for the Homeland, and finally, last but not least, from DJ PJ's Cats Because Yeah, and also Pechi, Asterium, Zanique, Nick Salini, and El Giuliano with their game of the Crypt Key. And according to Carl and the Maestro, it is now time for us to mention well over 10 games from the Indy itch page to go along with the other games we just mentioned. Cool. And the first game that we have up comes from none other than Color Squeaks with their game of Spider. Of course you would get me to mention that one. Lunar Complex with their game of Angelment, or Angelament, Bruv with their game of HACS Project, Recruck 42 with their game of Samidi, Junior 7 with their game of Final Melodies, Tizhachi with their game of Day and Night TD, Humble Crow with their game of Itty Bitty RPG, The Test 2 with their game of The Test 2, or apparently from Marsh Studios, AMG Games with their game of PoolCon 09. And finally, last but not least, we have from the creator F-Era Creating with their said game of Cute Parachute Guy. And if you guys want to go ahead and check out these great games, plus other games still lurking on the Indy Itch page to scratch that Indy Itch you've got, then you can head on over to the itch.io page under the game section to check them out for yourselves. And if you also want to go ahead and check out any other cool games that are a part of the Art Wall, Sound Wall, Screenshot Saturday Showcase, or even have your games mentioned over there as well, then you can head on over to the IndyCade.tumblr page, only known as IndyCade.tumblr.com, or head on over to their Facebook page known as IndyCade, or even their Twitter, Flickr, Instagram, YouTube, Discord, or website that are all named the same, but it's just as critically acclaimed, only known as, you guessed it folks, IndyCade. And I guess with that said, I think it's time for us to head back to that music and continue to listen into these diamonds in a rough as we try to turn your Tuesday night into a Friday night. Only here, right here, on the Tuesday Night Special. So don't go watching reruns of Seinfeld just yet, folks, and stay tuned. Alright, all you Streetlight Crusaders, welcome back to the Tuesday Night Special. And with people, I got a feeling who's gonna wonder why in the world we have all of these different musical mixes of old and new for this week. Well, due to the fact that not only a severe thunderstorm knocked us through a loop, and of course caused us to have this show a little bit later than most, and not to mention seeing the fact that right across the street from Music Village headquarters, a lightning bolt struck the power line, and our power didn't go out for some strange reason, but still flickered on and off. Yeah, that's the reason why the music is a little bit weird for this week. So we would like to thank you for, dealing with this minor inconvenience. And with that explanation out of the way and perfectly stalling for time with an explanation, making his way up the stairs with a serious look on his face and a contract in hand with the championship belt as well, none other than Dan the Weatherman Stu here to do the 5-day weather forecast for this week. Or deliver the 5-day weather forecast for this week. Dan the Weatherman Stu, the microphone is all yours. Dan the Weatherman Stu, anybody home? Microphone is all yours, buddy. Hey, snap out of it. Knock it off. Hey, cut it. Hey, Dan the Weatherman Stu, I know how much you love that belt. I know that, I got a little overhyped and decided to make that match for the championship. But, oh, wait, what? Apparently, according to Carl and the Maestro, he's still in the zone. And apparently, he wrote down on a piece of paper that he accepts the match. Are you nuts? And yeah, he's willing to defend the championship next Saturday before the Indy Radio Arcade. And to tell Doom to bring his A game to make up for what happened last time. Because despite him being 7'4", he came up short. Are you serious with that? You're gonna taunt him? He's still in the zone. He's still in the zone. But outside of being in the zone, and I don't mean auto zone, the microphone is all yours. Do the weather. Your usual bit. It's awkward. It's real awkward around here. You go for it. Oh, hey! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from around the world, it's your boy from Chicago, Illinois, and defending champion of the world, Dan the Weatherman Stu here to begin a 5-day weather forecast for this week. And to the big man, bring it on! Like Donkey Kong. I don't know why in the world you're so confident you're going to win that match, unless you think you're getting help from a certain somebody who keeps interfering with the Indy Awards every year. Oh, the contrary, DJ Smokey, I've been training. Waiting for the moment he would come back. Like the tales told me. Wait, what tales told you? You know what? I don't even want to know. Because I got a feeling it's going to be something bad. So, instead, why don't you do me a favor right now? Just do me a favor and do the weather. The sun's about to rise. We're close to sunrise. I got a feeling we are, just do the weather. We're burning moonlight here. All right. So for tonight, that's right, Tuesday night, it's gonna be a low of 61. Partly cloudy skies with winds going west at 1 miles per hour. And on Wednesday, here comes the heat. Cause it's gonna be a high of 89, low of 69. Mostly sunny skies with winds going west, southwest at 9 miles per hour. And on Thursday, the thunder rolls in. Cause it's gonna be a high of 27, low of 71. High of 93, low of 71. High of 93, low of 71. Isolated thunderstorms at 34%, with winds going southwest at 15 miles per hour. And on Friday, start of the heat thunder weekend, baby. Cause it's gonna be a high of 94, low of 73. Mostly sunny skies with winds going west at 8 miles per hour. And on Saturday, here comes the thunder. Cause it's gonna be a high of 87, low of 64. Thunderstorms at 77%, with winds going west at 11 miles per hour. And on Sunday, not a sunny day at all. Cause it's gonna be a high of 81, low of 59. Partly cloudy skies with winds going north, northwest at 9 miles per hour. And now you know, cause I've gotta go, because I am Dan the Weatherman Stu and I am through for weather broadcast for this week. And now back to the man who's holding my championship belt in his hands, DJ Smokey for the Tuesday Night Special. Yeah. Well, Dan the Weatherman Stu, you got guts. I'll give you that. You got guts. But at the same time, accepting the challenge from me being overhyped for the end of the Indy Radio Arcade to fight a 7'4", 435-pound monster that has been on a tear these past couple of weeks is not the wisest thing you've done to date. And this is coming from the same guy who keeps trying to read an ancient book of the undead. So, before the title match, any last thoughts? I mean, any final thought? There's no easy way. Any final thoughts? Because I got a feeling you're gonna be in a hospital bed by the next week. And according to Jack, yeah, Doom is looking to do that. I fear no giant oversized creature, I got this covered. I told you before, world champion out. Dan the Weatherman Stu out as well. Yeah. Oh, well, as he walks away with the championship belt and a Macho Man disco-like cape on, yeah, that might have been the last time we see Dan the Weatherman Stu walk out with confidence before he doesn't walk out at all. I hate to be that guy, to be, the person to say he's gonna get, almost moited, but, it's not looking good, folks. It's not looking good. But hey, I have hope. And also, we need him as a weatherman, so I'm rooting him on. I'm rooting him on. Before Carl and the Maestro look at me saying, "Oh, he's a goner." No, no, I'm rooting him on. I believe. I believe. To a degree. But I still believe. Anyway, folks, outside of me believing in Dan the Weatherman Stew, I think it's time for us to head back to that music, and when we return, we'll be back with another edition of the Indy Report right after this. So don't head downstairs for that post-midnight snack just yet, folks, and stay tuned. All right, all you Streetlight Crusaders, welcome back to the Tuesday Night Special. And apparently, according to Carl and the Maestro, the contract has officially been signed, so in 2 weeks' time, we will see Dan the Weatherman Stew going one-on-one against Doom in a ladder cage match for the Indy Radio Arcade Heavyweight Championship of the World. And I find it funny it's going to take place in mid-August. Or the beginning of August. When is it going to take place? Apparently August. Wait, that's the same weekend as SummerSlam. How are we going to pull that off? And Carl and the Maestro said, we'll worry about that later. Good point. But besides us about to gate crash the biggest party of the summer with one of the biggest matches we've ever seen, I think it's time for us to go into one of my favorite parts of the show. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, none other than the Indy Report, which is me giving you guys 2 news stories followed up by local concert information from local artists performing in a local area live near you. And in our first news story, and in movie news, for you fans out there who always wanted to see another Exorcist film, or didn't, well, this week in honor of the 50th anniversary of the said Exorcist film, Blumhouse, as well as none other than director Gordon Green, David Gordon Green, to get his full name in there, decided to unveil a brand new sequel entitled The Exorcist Believer that will release as of, and get this folks, Friday, October 13th of 2023. Now, usually we wait until the end to reveal the date of the release, but yeah, that's wild. That's the best answer I can give for that. And to make things even better, folks, none other than Ellen Burstyn will return as Chris McNeil for the first time since the 1973 original film that came out well over 50 years ago. So the fact that she's returning to the movie, and you got a star-studded cast in there as well of not only Lydia Jewett, even Ann Dowd, Jennifer Nettles, Norbert Leo Butz, and even Olivia Markham, who's going to be featured in this said film. I got a feeling this is going to be another film that is just going to push the envelope of possessions, and seeing the fact that the last one I think I see featured James Earl Jones in it, yeah, I got a good feeling about this one. Fingers crossed. And if you guys want to go ahead and check out the cool trailer for this sequel of a film that's been going on for seemingly 50 years, then you can go ahead and check it out on the consequences.net page, only known as consequence.net, or on the YouTube page of Universal Pictures to check it out for yourselves. And as a heads up, once again, folks, this movie will come out as of October 13th of 2023. Friday the 13th. Remember that, folks. Friday the 13th. Oh, boy. And in other news, and more or less video game news, for you fans out there who are still chomping at the bit for gameplay for Armored Core 6, well, I have some good news for you. because it's been announced and shown this week that they have now officially got footage for the game of Armored Core 6 featuring you going against a giant oversized boss and checking out the decaying world of Rubicon in that said game. And that game has come a long way from the Pizza Hut demo disc that I played many a moons ago, and to see how crazy that game is now makes me want to pick it up. But seeing the fact that I didn't play the other 5 predecessors, Carla DeMaisho said just pick up the game and trust me, you'll have fun. Yeah, because I was going to be one of those people to say, oh, well, if I didn't play the first 5, I maybe I should go back and play it. No. We were going to go ahead and play this one to see how crazy things get with Armored Max. And if you guys want to go ahead and check out how crazy things will get with Armored Max in that universe, then you can go ahead and head on over to the YouTube page of one man only known as Bandai Namco Entertainment of America to check it out for yourselves. And as a bit of a heads up, this game will release as of next month, August 25th of 2023 for all systems across the board, even PC. And with that said, folks, we now make our way on over towards the concert information, where we kick things off with Wednesday, July 26th. And the first band that we have up, or bands in this case, is none other than Steve Stern, Richard Trentz, and Jack Rocher, who's all going to be performing at the Sam Ash Music in Nashville, Madison, Tennessee at 3 p.m. And seriously, it says Nashville, then Madison, Tennessee afterwards. So before anybody comes after me for that one, it is right there on the screen. But besides trying to fix a ballpark error that they made, next band we have up is Rick Ballmer, who's going to be performing at the Ondog Green in Ondaw, South Carolina at 5 p.m. The Transonics is all going to be performing at the Ondog Green in Ondog, South Carolina at 5 p.m. Jack Scott is going to be performing at the Commodore Grill in Nashville, Tennessee at 6 p.m. Denise Ramirez is going to be performing at the Laguna Bob in South Padre Island, Texas at 6 p.m. Loose Change is going to be performing at the Avatar Tap House in Parkway, Farina, North Carolina at 7 p.m. Paul Bomar is going to be performing at the Nietzsche Wine Lounge in Holly Springs, North Carolina at 7 p.m. Mo Black is going to be performing at the ITNS Radio Virtual Concert Series in Las Vegas, Nevada at 8 p.m. And to finally wrap things up for Wednesday night, you can see the Lonely Hearts Club, who's going to be performing at the Laguna Bob in South Padre Island, Texas at 9:30 p.m. And on Thursday, July 27th, you can see these following bands performing in a local area near you live. Hell on Wheels is going to be performing at the Whiskey A Go Go in West Hollywood, California at 6 p.m. Curtis Lee is going to be performing at the Saxton Pub in Austin, Texas at 6 p.m. Todd Allen Hendreen is going to be performing at the Todd Allen Hendreen Theater in Panama City Beach, Florida at 6:30 p.m. Hell on Wheels with Stone Bread is going to be performing at the Whiskey A Go Go in West Hollywood, California at 6:30 p.m. Double performance from these guys. Not bad. Anyway, next band we have up is Josh Ward with Trip, who's all going to be performing at the Rev Room in Little Rock, Arkansas at 7 p.m. Jim Sloan, Hugh Mayer, and Ralph Williams is all going to be performing at the Red Brick Tavern in Conroe, Texas at 7 p.m. The Midnight Devils, Problem with Polly, and the Ballistics Nice band names is all going to be performing at the Irving Theater in Indianapolis, Indiana at 7:30 p.m. Almost tripped up there thanks to Indianapolis, Indiana, and in front of it all. But besides my brand of silliness, folks, with certain words, next band we have up is Travis Reed Ball, who's going to be performing at the Savannah in New York, New York at 8 p.m. Stonebread with Hell on Wheels is all going to be performing at the Whiskey A Go Go in West Hollywood, California at 8 p.m. Patrice Pike is going to be performing at the Saxton Pub in Austin, Texas at 8 p.m. And to finally wrap things up for Thursday night, you can see the Warm Oranges, who's going to be performing at the Laguna Bob in South Padre Island, Texas at 9:30 p.m. And on Tuesday for next week, which is the first day of August, you can see these following bands performing in the local area live near you. The Lads AVL is going to be performing at the Joint Next Door in Fairview, North Carolina at 6 p.m. Chuck Collins is going to be performing at the Swanny's Grill in Houston, Texas at 6 p.m. Steven Garcia with Not the Rachels is going to be performing at the Jackie's Brick House in Kemba, Texas at 6 p.m. Sean Russell Music is going to be performing at the Round Rock Tavern in Round Rock, Texas at 7 p.m. Marty Seymour is going to be performing at Froggy's in Virginia Beach, Virginia at 7 p.m. Hush Money, Crowbot, Proxy, Rickshaw, and Billy's Burger Patrol, nice band names, is all going to be performing at the Masquerade in Atlanta, Georgia at 7 p.m. And to finally wrap things up for Tuesday for next week and all the bands we're going to mention during this show for this week, you can see the Tunes, who's going to be performing at the Laguna Bob in South Padre Island, Texas at 9 p.m. And if you guys want to go ahead and check out the complete list of bands that we couldn't list during this very broadcast, and trust me folks, there were a lot of them, you can head on over to ReverbNation.com to check out the complete list of bands that we couldn't list during this very broadcast. And while you're over there folks, go ahead and check out a couple of their cool tunes. Trust me, they're worth the listen. And like we say at the end of all of these skits, go out there, support your local artists, and see these guys perform live. And trust me, they'll love you for it. And I guess with that said, I think it's time for us to head back to tap music one more time. And when we return, we'll be back with the final segment for the Tuesday Night Special for this week and for this month, right after this. So don't go watching those infomercials just yet, folks, and stay tuned. Well, all you Streetlight Crusaders, seeing the fact that we're fresh out of Streetlight Crusading oil and we've got to get out of here to get some more for next week's show, we might as well bring the Tuesday Night Special for this week and for this month to an emphatic close. But don't don't worry. If you miss any of this streetlight crusading goodness we were able to give you for this week, we got you covered. Because you can catch this show again one more time, all the time, on our SoundCloud, Facebook, Instagram, and even Tumblr pages still, named the same, only known as Music Village Radio under the hashtag TuesdayNiteSpecial 452. And as a matter of fact, Carl and the Maestro believed that this show was going to take place at 4:52 in the morning, or at least end by that time, but we got lucky. Really did. Especially with the whole light out thing that happened earlier. Yeah, we really did. And if you guys want to go ahead and check out what other crazy and zany things we still got prepared for these remaining days of this month of independence, heading directly into the summer of RPG, like a show that managed to dodge a lightning bolt by mere yards, then you can go ahead and check it out on our YouTube, Discord, and even Twitter pages still named the same, only known as CWO Agent 0012. And it seems like we're getting more pages by the day. And before we head out of here for the night, we would like to thank, as always, you the Streetlight Crusaders out there for listening in to a very special late night month-ending Indy Blackout edition of the Tuesday Night Special. If you guys and gals out there like what you heard, go out there and spread the word. You know what? Like the musical group Attractive 80 Women with their song Lightning Bolt. Yeah, you know, the PR department knows where I'm going with this one, and they're giving me the thumbs up while all dressing up like wizards. Why? Oh, because of the said move of the lightning bolt from a wizard. I get it. And we would also like to thank you, the independent artists out there, for doing that musical goodness like you always do. And keep up the great work, guys. And here's hoping your music is featured during a cartoon or anime like that in the near future. And why? Because we believe in you guys. That's why. And the anime or cartoon that was featured during was Frisky Dingo, just as a heads up. Speaking of people with Frisky Dingo-like moves to be featured a part of the show, we would like to thank the musical guest for this week, none other than Carl's band of the Sleeping Pills with their said songs of Coffee House Stress Test that was featured during the intro. And of course the song you're listening to right now in the background of Late Night Cafe Wrap-Up that was featured during the outro for this week's edition of the Tuesday Night Special. Like always, guys, thank you for coming through, especially on such short notice with a blackout, and keep up the great work, and we can't wait to hear what you got coming down the tubes next. And finally, last but certainly not least, we would like to thank you, the independent gamers out there, with all those sweet, sweet video game hits and clips, delivering it to the show for us to mention for this week. And thanks to you guys at home, our indie game goal is now 359 games strong. And keep those games a-coming, because you never know what show might be coming down the tubes next. Hint, 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 hint. And I guess with everybody thanked, you guys out there know we go out. I'm DJ Smokey on behalf of Carl and the Maestro, and for you up-all-nighters, late-night drivers, insomniatic TV watchers, gamers, and grapplers, as well as you streetlight crusaders from all around the world celebrating the last Tuesday night of this month of independence, saying, Lightning Bolt! Be the electricity, baby! But most importantly, when there's smoke, there's fire. And we'll see you guys next week on a very special August Rush Late Night Month Starting Adventure Edition of the Tuesday Night Special. But until then, go get some sleep. Thanks for watching, and good night, everybody.